Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Rams versus Dallas Cowboys Week 4 matchup based on analytics. And, of course, each week I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. We're only 3 weeks worth of data into the season, so it's not the biggest sample size ever. However, each week there will be little nuggets of truth in every sample of data you see, which could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you are new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting with this matchup between the Rams and the Cowboys. This is a very interesting matchup because the Rams have, I'm just going to be honest, the Rams have been a very fun team to watch. Offensively speaking, over the last 3 weeks, they've been performing very well. They had a loss to the Redskins, which I think humbled them. But this is another one of those teams where I'm on the fence about them, if you will. Because it has been only 3 weeks worth of data. But I am on the fence with this team to a certain extent in terms of if this is the real Rams, is this what we're seeing, is the first week of the season, and what they did, of course, against the San Francisco 49ers, is this the new Rams, is this it, or are they a little bit more closer to a 500 team because of some of their issues? And then, of course, when you come to the Cowboys, they just have been having a lot of, issues in terms of the passing game to a certain extent, and they've also had a couple other sort of issues. So when it comes to the basic tenets of this game, like basic matchups, the data pretty much favors the Rams in this particular game. And again, you have to understand what this data is about. The data that I'm talking about right here is 3 weeks worth of data. So it's not about how well they played last week. It's not about how well they played week 1 in the NFL. It's about how well they played over the course of 3 weeks. And over the course of 3 weeks, the Rams have been playing better than the Cowboys when it comes to the data that matters to winning football games. And to kind of explain some of the stuff. So when it comes to the Rams, they've been better in terms of creating first downs as an offense overall, which is basically what the total O score is. The defense has been better in terms of preventing first downs, which is what the total D score is. Turnover ratio is on the Cowboys. They've been better at preventing turnovers than the Rams. When you look at the sack percentage, both these teams don't really give up a lot of sacks, so they're pretty much even when it comes to that. Offensive scoring drives has favored the Rams, surprisingly. Over the last 3 weeks, the Rams have been much better at scoring on most of their drives compared to the Cowboys, who a lot of this stems from the Denver game, but nevertheless, this is why this is. This is how they performed over the last 3 weeks. The Rams have been much better in terms of creating points than the Cowboys. And then, of course, when you look at the defensive side of the football, the Cowboys' defense has actually been better in terms of preventing points on each drive versus the Rams. But I still think that we have yet to really see how good both these teams are in terms of preventing points, because I think, there's a lot of things that kind of influence that. Then, of course, when you get to the defensive side of the football, in terms of creating turnovers, the Rams have been better in terms of creating turnovers. The Rams have been better in terms of sacks, but I would say that both these teams are pretty much, equal in terms of ability to create sacks, for the most part. When you look at interception ratio, it favors the Rams, which has been the biggest contributor to their turnovers has been through the air. And then when you look at special teams, the Cowboys have better punt return yardage, whereas the Rams have better kick return yardage. And when it comes to preventing punt return and kick return yardage, they're both pretty evenly matched, with the Rams having advantages when it comes to punt return yardage, whereas the Cowboys have advantages when it comes to kick return yardage, but very slight advantages. So slight that they're pretty much, it's a wash between those two things. Same thing with field goal percentage, pretty much the same with field goal percentage, pretty much the same when it comes to extra point percentage, and punting average favors the Rams versus the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are pretty average when it comes to punt return yardage up to this point in the NFL. Again, overall, the data pretty much favors the Rams up to this point over the last 3 weeks. So when we get to the other data points, so when we get to some other sort of matchups, so when it comes to completion percentage, the Cowboys offense versus the Rams defense, The Cowboys' offense is pretty evenly matched when it comes to first down situations. Second down situations kind of goes to the Rams, and third down situation kind of goes to the Rams. The Cowboys have not been the best when it comes to completion percentage in first, second down, and third down situation. They've been kind of average, really, when it comes to those situations, but it has been somewhat of an issue in terms of their passing offense, is the completion percentage sort of issues. I would say this favors the Rams' defense slightly. I think it's a little bit more evenly matched, but I do think that is something to kind of monitor and think about in the future. Then when we get to the Rams' offense versus the Cowboys' defense, the Rams will have advantages when it comes to first down situations, second down situations, and especially third down situations. The area of the field, the situation that the Rams have been most decent at is converting on third down in terms of passing completions. Not really passing, but completions has definitely been a big thing with them. So I would say that that's the biggest thing to say about the Rams' offenses in terms of they have advantages against the Cowboys when it comes to completion percentage. Then when you get to rushing down, so the Cowboys rushing offense versus the Rams rushing defense, the Rams have advantages when it comes to the first down situations and third down situations, but the Cowboys have advantages when it comes to second down situations. A big thing that influences this is the Broncos game definitely did hurt the Cowboys a lot when it comes to their rushing efficiency. So that's definitely something to consider and think about. But the Rams defense overall, for the most part this season, has been pretty decent in terms of preventing the run. So this will be this will be kind of a fun matchup to watch between the Cowboys offense and the Rams defense. And then when we look at the Rams offense versus the Cowboys defense when it comes to rushing, pretty evenly matched. I mean, if you look at first down situations, it does favor the Cowboys, but very slightly. When it comes to second down situations and third down situations, it favors the Rams slightly. So this is pretty much a wash between the two when it comes to rushing situations. Very evenly matched in terms of their ability to create first downs with the run and prevent first downs with the run. Then when you get to the Cowboys offense versus the Rams defense in terms of passing situations, again, this is an issue. The completion percentage hurts this. When you're not able to get completions very well on first down and third down situations, you're also not able to convert those situations. You know, it's like anything else. You know, the reason why completion percentage matters is because if you have a low completion percentage, you're lowering the chances to actually get first downs, and this is part of this. Part of this is also because they just had a rough start with their passing offense. So the Cowboys will have advantages in terms of second down situations, but I do think that this still favors the Rams in terms of first down situations and third down situations. For whatever reason, the Cowboys passing offense has just not been doing what it needs to do. Then when you get to the Rams passing offense versus the Cowboys passing defense, the Cowboys have advantages when it comes to second down situations, first down situations, but not so much when it comes to third down situations. So the big money down for the Rams is third down situations. That's where Goff has been killing it. That's where they've been really doing well in terms of their passing game. So despite the fact that they may not get a ton of yardage in first down despite some of the issues they've had in terms of these sort of areas, and some of the issues the Cowboys defense has had, I think that this is a big matchup to watch, because if you just look at the disparity between the Rams offense and the Cowboys defense, despite it being evenly matched in first down situations, despite some of the disparity when it comes to second down situations, I think that third down situation will be crucial for the Rams to kind of exploit the Cowboys when it comes to those particular situations. So that's definitely something to kind of monitor going forward. Then when we get to sack rate on various downs, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they've had some issues with this year. Although the Cowboys do have advantages when it comes to first down situations and third down situations in terms of preventing sacks, the Rams actually have advantages when it comes to second down situations, a pretty sizable advantage. I'll still give this to the Cowboys, but that second down situation is definitely something to kind of monitor and see how it progresses. Then, of course, when you get to the sack rate of the Rams versus the Cowboys defense, the Cowboys have been doing very well in terms of first down situations, and it's pretty evenly. It favors the Rams in second and third down, but it's pretty evenly matched. So I would actually kind of give this to the Cowboys because it's evenly matched, and also because the Cowboys create a lot of sacks in first down situations. So that's definitely something to kind of keep track of. And then, of course, when you look at the Cowboys offense versus the Rams, Rams defense in terms of interception ratio, the Cowboys offense has been pretty decent. You know, they don't turn the football over a lot. And when you look at the Rams defense, they create most of their interceptions in first down situations. But again, the Cowboys don't really turn the football over, a ton in terms of the passing game. So I think this favors the Cowboys, but it's definitely a matchup to kind of think about because the Rams are at least above average-ish when it comes to creating interceptions in first down situations. And then, of course, when you look at the interception ratio of the Rams offense versus the Cowboys defense, the Rams overwhelmingly have advantages when it comes to second down situations, third down situations, and it's pretty evenly matched when it comes to first down situations. So the Rams, again, are a team that doesn't really throw a lot of picks. They don't really, create a lot of interceptions, and I think that kind of bears out in the data overall when you look at it. So I think the Cowboys will have some advantages in terms of getting picks in first down situations, but not so much when it comes to second and third down situations. So again, this favors the Rams for the most part. The one matchup I think I really want to see develop is, in terms of individual matchups, is the Rob Havenstein, probably saying it wrong, versus DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence has been playing really well this year, and when you look at athleticism data, when you look at the explosive lower body strength score, the speed score, and the flexibility score, it all favors DeMarcus Lawrence. So Lawrence could have a big day. He's already having a pretty decent season overall, and I think this could add to his resume because Havenstein is just not. He's been the only sort of weak link when it comes to the giving up sacks on this team. I think this is a crucial matchup because I think if DeMarcus Lawrence has a big day, he could be very disruptive against the Rams overall, which could help win the football game overall for the Cowboys. So that's definitely an individual matchup I think you should check out in this game. So overall, how do I feel about this game? Well, again, I don't feel very well about this game because it's only been 3 weeks worth of data. I think a lot of stuff that influences this issue is the Cowboys. I think you can't dismiss the Rams offense because they have been playing well. And they didn't have the very best game against the Washington Redskins, but the Cowboys have not exactly been playing like the Redskins defense. So I think overall, data-wise, it does favor the Rams. I don't really want to go Rams 100%. So I'll leave it to you guys. Who do you think is going to win this particular matchup? I have sort of misgivings about it. I think a lot of the data is a bit skewed at this point just because of some of the bad performances that the Cowboys had, the Denver Broncos, etc. We don't really know what the Cowboys are 100% up to this point, nor do we really know what the Rams are up to this point. But all we do know is that the Rams have been playing a lot better over the last 3 weeks than the Cowboys have. So it'll be interesting to see how this develops. So again, let me know in the comment section below who you think will win. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.